Yep. Of course, the other side doesn't give me a single problem. But then, in hilarious YouTube fashion, the second I try to show the world what I'm doing, it just all falls to shit. Alright, you guys, so we're finally back. Finally found something to do on my truck. So, a lot of y'all follow me on Instagram, so I just did the driver's side front brakes. And now we're going to do the passenger side. Also, something else I did, well, not me, but she also got her new passenger airbag from that recall that Ford put out a couple years ago. So they finally had the parts in. I ordered it a couple weeks ago, and I did it this morning, and I have a new airbag. That's about all I know. So, but I've been trickling parts in, and finally I have all my parts for my brakes. So we're gonna go ahead and change those out with the proper parts, because over the last 3-4 months I'm getting a nice little growling noise out of my tires, and I know it's not just the tires. So, in which I just confirmed I put the wrong bearings in, because yeah, so with this whole new, well, not new, but this trend that I'm trying to get my truck to, where it's all Ford parts for the most part, at least in the critical areas like this. So I'm going to show you guys all the part numbers and everything else, so that if you guys do want to do this, they're really freaking cheap on Rock Auto right now. There is one exception, which is the rear, the inner grease seal. If you have a two-wheel drive, Ford does not have those. Like, I just can't ship them anywhere. So I figured, what the fuck, you know, sure, why not? So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and lay everything out and show you what we're. Alright, so this is what we're changing out today. All these boxes here. So I went ahead and took these out of their packaging just so you could see them. So this is the inner grease seal. Like I said, the one from Ford, it just says that you cannot ship it. But so here's all the information on the box. And I got these on Rock Auto for like $5. Come on. Anyway, so those fit in there pretty well. And then I was actually pretty surprised to find out on Ford parts, these are actually the bearings that Ford will sell you. The only difference is this bearing right here is $26 or something like that on Ford, and I got it for $5 on Rock Auto. So here, if I can focus, maybe if I, the part numbers on there. Anyway, I'll just read it off. It's Timken, Lima, Mike 11949778008. But that's the outer bearing, and these things fit in the Ford rotors really well, like super tight. Same thing, Timken, this is the inner one. This is Lima Mike 48548778008. So yep. And then these are the brake pads right here from Ford. Again, I got these on Rock Auto for really freaking cheap. I think these were $26, if that. And it came with new clips. And these are really nice brake pads. So, Motorcraft. So, and then finally, the most expensive part of this whole thing, which, again, Rock Auto, and I got these rotors for, again, Motorcraft. I got them for $42 a piece. And yeah, I really like the way these things are packaged. It's really nice. Let me just, since we're going to be getting this stuff out of here anyway. So, that's the ABS ring, and it's... Alright, so kind of a interruption here in the video regarding these rotors. The part number ending in 69. These guys are right here. So, I don't know exactly which vehicle these are for, but I tried even looking these up on Ford parts, and they're not even popping up anymore. But I want to show you the reason why I had to redo my brakes. So, even though this is Ford Motorcraft, when I initially looked up the part numbers for everything from Rock Auto, because I bumped the VIN number on Ford parts to see what matches on Rock Auto so I can get a better price. So, turns out that these ones right here, These are 64s, so the same beginning, just in 64, and that's what's on the passenger side on my truck now, the correct brake rotor. The only difference really that I can see here is the fact that I think this is an aluminum rotor, but the biggest difference is this ABS ring. So I'm going to cut to a clip real quick, showing you when I was torquing these brake rotors down to set the bearings. You could see and hear this ABS ring right here catching on my wheel speed sensor. So while we're spinning it, come on, there we go. And this is just to seat the bearings. Oh, this is difficult with one person. I wish I had a third hand. Alright, I'm happy with that. Alright, I'm going to turn my, this is the first time I've ever had to say that, but I'm going to turn my torque wrench off. So, then we're going to loosen it. 175 degrees, so pretty much dead even back the other way. So right about there, and then I'm going to get the little itty bitty torque wrench out, which is set to 18 inch-pounds. That's 18 inch-pound. So yeah, definitely not doing too good. Basically, as soon as I finished and I went out to go make sure that everything was hunky-dory, the second I put on my brakes above like 5 miles an hour, and like you can see where it was rubbing right there, my ABS system went haywire. Wasn't throwing any codes, but my ABS was kicking in like crazy, and then it would disengage. ABS light came on, but again, it wasn't storing any codes, which I thought was weird. So you can kind of see how it's real skinny right there, and kind of oval, skinny oval, whereas in here, well, I'll cut open to that, but once we're ready to actually do that. But these are the correct rotors. These are the those are the ones that are in that box that's still sealed up over here. So this is the finished product here on the passenger side, and see how it's free spinning, unlike that clip when I was torquing them down. So that noise that you're hearing is just the brake pads excuse me. Yeah, it's just the brake pads rubbing against the rotor. So there's no catching or anything else like that there was with the part number ending at 69. Those brighter aluminum colored ones. So it doesn't look as pretty as those ones, but they are the correct ones. So these were quite a bit more expensive even on Rock Auto than those ones, but just goes to prove that they require a certain part number, and you should probably go ahead and do that and not try to skimp out, because those ones that I tried the first time were like 40 bucks cheaper a piece. So but yeah, so especially given the fact that I overnighted them so I can get them here as fast as possible. But yeah, so now it's going to be kind of weird, because I'm going to interchange the videos so that y'all can see how to do the brake pads and all the torquing of that. And then, you know, we're going to start with those rotors over there, the bad ones, and then end up with this. So it's going to be kind of weird, but I didn't want to waste all that footage. So we're going to pick up on the driver's side, basically torn down and getting ready to go back in, because the tear down is exactly the same. I'm just going to reload these hubs and bearings on that side with everything that's correct with this correct one. So that's what we're going to do now. Alright, let's go ahead and zip this wheel off here. Of course, be careful. My rear wheel's truck, and I've got 4 jacks standing underneath this thing. one that's actually holding it, and then the other one's just in case something happens. So, yep. So yeah, these are the current rotors that I have on here. I think they're from Ultra Rotor, I think. You know, they're not terrible, but I wanted to try to get back to Ford, so, but, yeah. So these dust caps are also really hard to find, which, just a pro tip, do not order the Dorman dust caps on Rock Auto. I found it out today, they do not fit, so, luckily they were only like $3 a piece, but that's why they're $3 a piece, because they don't fit in the Ford rotors. So maybe at some point I can, like, Ford offers them, but of course they only offer them in packs of 4, and I don't need 4, but I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna transfer all my tools over here, and then we'll get to zipping this thing apart. Alright, so first thing we're taking off are the caliper pin bolts right here. These are both 14 mils, and then after that, then we're going to take the anchor plate off, which there's a fastener down there, and tucked way up inside the spindle. And then after that, we can slide the entire brake assembly apart, and then start taking the hub apart. So we shall start doing that, and I'm really hoping y'all can see that. Let me see. Oh yeah. Okay. Hell, the other side's not like this. Alright, it'll be that way. I'm gonna go put some. I'll hit 200 here probably in the next year or two. Given that I'm not going to Idaho 2 or 3 times a year anymore. Alright, so now that those are out, just take the caliper and slide it off. And I like to put it up here on top of the A-arm, where I know it's not going to go anywhere, because never let it sit and dangle by the hose. That's a no-no. So now is the fun part, which is these anchor bolts, which are torqued pretty tough. So first, before I take that plate off, I'm going to take these old brake pads out. So there's still a good amount of wear, but they're starting to squeak, and again, I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but I wanted Ford parts on this thing, so. Screw it. I'm just gonna take these off. And by the way, those are 15 millimeter bolts for that caliper anchor plate. And then we get to take these old crusty spring or clips out for the brake pads. Like, these things are gnarly. Yeah. And we'll set that off to the side. And now it's time for the brake rotor. Try and get some decent lighting in here for you guys. So, we'll find our little dust cap mark. Flathead and just start gently prying. Just like that. It's an old needle nose. There she comes. Just like that. And then this guy, a little retainer for the cotter pin. And then this is going to be a 1 1/16 inch socket. This spindle nut. That. I'm going to show you a pro tip that you use the second one for, or that nut for a second time. So I'm just going to lay this down here so that when the bearing falls, if I don't catch it. So just a quick breakdown here. This is just a little plate that goes between the bearing and that retaining nut for the spindle, and then of course the old bearing. Bearings are these? Yeah, these are national bearings. So, yep. But, alright. So, now on with that pro tip. So, I remember I used to sit there with a frickin' hammer and a flathead screwdriver trying to hammer the seals out, but take this nut back on here and get it on there a few threads. Like that, and then you're gonna lift, and then you're gonna catch that bearing with that nut, and that pops the seal out, just like that. And this is a one-time use seal only, so do not reuse this. And of course, the old bearing, and back off with the nut. this up to have a look-see at my spindle. Now, the biggest thing here is just making sure you don't feel anything, like any gouges or anything else like that. So, if I come in here, I guess it should just be smooth because this thing is machined. So, if you feel anything, then you might want to go get it machined or just take some emery cloth to it and smooth it back down, or just be on the safe side and bite the bullet and buy a new one. But I don't feel anything, so she's in pretty good shape. Especially, and like the keys that I'm looking for, like you can see the races here. So that's where the inner bearing rides, and that's where the outer bearing rides. So that's really what I'm focusing on. And it's smooth as a baby's bottom. So now it's time to take care of all that rust around the edge there for where that grease seal sits. Make sure we get a nice good seal. I've just got a nice little simple, and this is a brass wire brush, nice and soft. And I'm not going to touch this. That's a no-no. I'm just touching the back side where it's made out of iron or steel or whatever it's made out of. But I'm not going to touch the actual spindle where the bearings ride. That's a no-no. Alright, time for the fun part of the brake clean now. Move y'all just a little bit back so you don't get sprayed. There we go. I think I'm gonna need some more brake parts cleaner. And just get it for a good wipe down. Sweet. So that was the fast part. So now is going to be the fun one of taking all the pins apart and cleaning those and lubing them. But yeah, she's nice and clean now. So, but yeah. Alright, so this is the anchor plate for the brake caliper itself. And we got to do some TLC on this guy. So right there at the bottom on each corner is your brake pins. And the ones on the last side, man, they were dry. It's been a hot minute since I've actually pulled this thing out and actually given her a good lubing. Yeah, that one came right out, which is good. So the biggest thing is we're just going to clean up all this surface rust, and then we're going to clean these pins, moisturize the boots here with some silicone spray, because rubber loves silicone. It just sucks it up and gets it nice and soft again, so that these things will move and be happy. Because it's always about being happy, happy, happy. Yeah, like this thing is, I don't want to say it's dry rotted, but I know if I didn't do this within the next few months, these things might be dead. So they're still pretty pliable, which is good. So I'm just gonna lay that rung down there. Some good old WD-40 silicone. Just give them a good douching of silicone and let them soak while we're doing the rest of our maintenance. Because not only is it going to clean these, but it's going to hydrate them, if you will. So let those just soak up all those juices. And we're going to take these pins and clean them up as best we can. So I think the next time I change these brakes, I'm probably going to order some new pins. Because these things are, I'm not saying they're bad, but they're definitely weathered, that's for sure. So this one's not too bad. But I'm going to clean them off with some good old brake parts cleaner. The stuff that cleans everything. Shiny. Alright, set that one over there and do this one. Again, nice and clean. So I'm gonna let those air dry, and then they will get cleaned up. So now, this is where I kind of geeked out and had fun with this. So my anchor bolts right here have been coated and coated and coated with Loctite, and it's getting to the point now where it's hard to even thread them in. So I clean them with basically a thread chaser out of my tap and die set. So I found the right size, which is M12 by 175. That's the size bolt for the anchor bolts, at least. And I really wish I had another place where I could set you guys up. And it sucks when bending over like this, but so I'll just kind of show you what that looks like. Hopefully some of the stuff will fall on the ground like last time. But I'm just cleaning all the frickin' old sealant and Loctite off of this. I'm just making the threads nice. Like, this is, after I did this, this is the first time these things threaded all the way in by hand. I was kind of surprised. So yeah, pretty clean now. I mean, like, look at all that crap. That was all on that one bolt. So now I'm going to do the other one. Is that backwards? No, it's not. That's right, get it nice and clean. My Family Guy fans will understand that reference. So yeah, now there's even more. So, nice and clean. So I'm going to set those ones off to the side. Oh, my light died. Oh well. And then now I have the actual threader that I'm going to do for the anchor plate. So I need to go get the little handle for it. She's going to sit something like that. And normally if you see someone doing this, you just kind of back away slowly and don't say anything, because shit's usually not going good if you see someone pulling this out, but in this instance it's alright. So, and again, I'm not really creating new threads here, I'm just trying to clean the threads. Because it's kind of disgusting how much stuff is coming out of here. A lot of rust, and there's just a pile of it building up right now. Yeah. That one's nice. Ugh! That one's nice and shiny. Look at that. All that brown just came out of that. That's why I'm doing this. This thing is just disgusting. Let's start a new pile. How about that? So shiny. Nice and clean. So yeah, I mean, like, look at all that crap. Doesn't look like much, but when you're trying to thread a bolt in there, that stuff gets in the way. So, but she's clean now, so that's what's important to me. But we're not done with this bracket, because I need to clean up where those clips sit that hold the brake pads in place. We'll give her just a little toot in here to clean these out. Oh yeah. Old Faithful, man. And sweet, I still have some pressure in my tank, so I'm gonna blow those out now. And I think this goes without saying, but make sure you have eye protection on, so. Alright. So, we are pretty much done and ready to start putting stuff back together.
Alright, see you later.
It's the weef!
Hi! Can you not? Like, I'm going to work.
Okay.
Bye-bye. See you later.
You too. Have a good one.
Have fun. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Really? Why? What the fuck is this
And now she's dancing in the car. We both really like that car. Close the garage! Close the garage! Oh, letting all the stank out. Alright, so now she's all broken down. Here's the new one. Just sprayed the inside of the hub with some brake parts cleaner just to get the cardboard dust off from in there. But yeah, so that's the part number that we're after here. And I've got the other box over here somewhere. Right here. So this is the rotor that's on the passenger side right now. And there you go. Actually, let's just for shits and gigs, let's see if it better be the exact same part number, otherwise I'm gonna lose my shit. 102 BA. Yep, they're the exact same part number, so which is good. But yep. So yeah, they're both really good quality. It's just that ABS ring is just a hair different, and the truck did not like that. So the spindle is all lubed back up again, and now we're just gonna go back together here, and basically I'm gonna repack the bearings again because I ended up putting the old rotors back on just to get me back on the road, and I really didn't have a whole lot of time, so I didn't clean the hubs out as good as I should have, and because I had to go to work the next day. So yeah, but I'll bring the screen out so I can see what y'all are seeing here. And yeah, so I'll go around this way. But alright, so yeah, even my wife was like, babe, I said what? And she goes, next time look at the damn part numbers. I was like, yes dear. So but she's not too upset about it because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna call customer service on Rock Auto first before I go through the whole hassle of sending these things back to them. Like, hey, I did use these brakes for like 2 miles, which is why there's a little bit of wear on them. You know, can I still return these and get my money back? Because those rotors are still like $100 after shipping. So if I can get $100 back, why wouldn't I? So yeah, she's that bearing's back in there, all that nasty grease from the other side. So I'm just gonna press all the old grease out, or at least until I stop seeing black. So, yep. I might have just run out of grease. Good thing I got 2 tubes of this stuff like a year ago. Yeah, it's raining hard now. Good old Delaware. Always raining. Alright, so we got a bunch of fresh grease pressed in there just for my own personal satisfaction, so I'm not, I guess you could call it cross-contaminating the grease. But yeah, so I'm just going to lube her up real good because you can never have too much grease in your life, especially this grease, because this grease is amazing. So I'm going to take my nice greasy fingers here and just lube up the inside of the hub here. Both where the bearing is going to ride and where the seal is going to get pressed in. So got a nice little gooped up bearing here, and set her on in. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. Wipe up my hands real quick and then we'll press this bearing. But I need a hammer, so I'm gonna have my wife bring in a hammer because I left it on inside because I got it at Walmart yesterday. So I'm gonna go ask my wife to be so kind as to bring a hammer in here.
Hammer time. Ew, 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 ew. I'm done. Hi, it's hammer time. Okay, turn around now. Turn it up now! No!
Isn't my wife funny? Getting the old hammer in here. So, got another new seal here because you never reuse those inner grease seals. And we're just gonna lube her up. A, to ease an installation, and B, to provide a little bit of lube because, you know, the spindle is going to be riding in here, so I want to lube this up too. And to keep water out because grease, as you know, displaces water. So, yeah, nice and greasy. So, I'm gonna just tap, tap, tap-a-roo. And we're just gonna feel for any high spots. Make sure she gets down there nice and even. I'm just going to take my gloves off so I don't get grease all over these fresh calipers. But there's some extra brake parts cleaner in there. So now, I'm just going to spray this down. Even though Ford doesn't really put that that oil coating that a lot of the aftermarket people do, but I do see some cardboard flakes on here, so I'm just going to take that little extra step and just clean it up, and then if my greasy gloves had ever touched it, you know, so. Alright, so we're ready to slide this part onto the actual spindle here. So I'm gonna get you guys up there for that. I'm blocking the light, aren't I? Alright. Here we go. Like that. Sweet. Alright, so I'm going to go put some fresh clothes on. We're going to repack the outer bearing, put it in, and then torque her down. So we got a little itty bitty baby with a little inner bearing here. And I'm going to see if I actually did run out of grease or not. I kind of hope I didn't, because I don't really want to crack open a fresh tube of grease if I don't have to. Ta-da! Freshly greased bearing. Again, I'm just going to lube her up real good. Take some of this clean grease that kind of got wasted here. Reuse it a little bit. And just sort of lather her up here, inside and out. And I'm going to take a little bit of this grease, minus that dirty part. And just come in here and rub that inner race. And slide her in. Alright, take this this now. A retainer nut or washer. Put that in. Grab our nut. Just like that. So now I'm going to take these gloves off again. And we're going to start the torquing procedure. So, just for now, hand tight. Right there is good. And I'm going to run next door on the other side of the truck and grab my torque wrenches real quick. The first torquing is going to be 21 foot-pounds while rotating it, basically in the direction of travel. And for this, I've got a 3/8 to 1/2 inch adapter here for my 3/8 torque wrench, because I don't have a 1/2 inch torque wrench that goes that low. I'm just going to bring this up to 21 foot-pounds. And there we go, 21 foot-pounds. So, I'm going to start tightening it now. And we're just doing this tightening procedure just to set the bearings in here. Let's see how in this one it's not catching on that speed sensor. I'll do one more just for good measure. There we go. Zero back, or not zero it down, but take it back down to its minimum torque, which is 5 foot-pounds. And turn it off. Alright, next thing we gotta do is loosen at 175 degrees. And, yeah. Out there. And now I'm going to use that same adapter, but then I'm also going to put a 3/8 to 1/4 inch again, because this next one is going to be tightened to 18 inch-pounds, and this is the final torque of what it's going to be while it's rolling down the road. So this is kind of the setup that I've got going here. And this one is also set to 18 inch-pounds. I'm just going to do hand tight for now, and this thing is going to take such little pressure. And again, while we're turning it. And there we go. That's it. Alright. And that's all there is to it for the torquing. And see how there's just no deflection here? So, she's nice and smooth now. Alright, so now we're going to do the cotter pin here, and I'm going to see if I can slide you guys in here just a little bit closer here. And I'm going to clear out this threading right here so I can actually see the hole for the grease, or for the cotter pin, which is right there. I'm going to go grab a cotter pin. Not as much as I would like it to be, at least. There we go. I'm happy with that now. So yeah, the whole idea of that is just to keep this nut from moving since it is torqued so low. And yeah, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to peel these two apart, just like that. And while I'm pulling against it, I'm going to pull out. Oop, I should go some slipping. Let me grab my other pair. I have a little bit more teeth to it. Like that. We'll go right about there. I've got kind of an interesting method to make sure that this one right here, in particular, this cotter pin doesn't really move. Just gonna hammer her tight. Just like that. So yeah, this thing is on there. It's not moving. And then I'm gonna trim this part right here. Just like that. And I'm just gonna ever so lightly tap that back so it catches that one. And tighten that one back down. So yeah, that cotter pin is not going to let anything do anything. So she is on there nice and tight, and I'm happy with that. So it's catching in those ears and in those ones. So yep. Sweet. So again, those, I was kind of optimistic that they would actually work this time, but those freaking shitty ass Dorman caps do not fit on these ones either. So do not waste, save your money, don't waste it, and do not buy those freaking Dorman ones on Rock Auto. Those little dust caps. So pieces of garbage from China. Alright, so before I put the caliper and all that jazz back on, I'm going to spray this side of the rotor down with some brake parts cleaners, because you can see some of my greasy fingerprints on it. So shiny. Yeah. All right. Get all these little fuzzies out of here. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. All right. So got my light back for a little bit. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but we'll see. So first order of business is put these new clips down here. And the new, or not the new, but yeah, put these new clips in here. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to mount this to a spindle first. Alright. So this is going to sit right in here. Try not to hit the rotor. Look at that, by hand. That's why I wanted to clean these. Oh, it's so smooth. Alright. So, those are in. I'm going to torque them here in a little bit, but now I'm going to put these new clips in. That is on backwards. damn it, stay in your home. There we go. There we go. That's nice. Of course, that one went on like cake. I'm not worried about that. Alright. So now I'm going to go ahead and torque these. I'm going to get the torque spec and the torque wrench on. Alright, so these little anchor plate bolts are getting torqued to 85 foot-pounds. And I got the Big Daddy out. I ain't playing around with this one. Oh, not my paint. There we go. That's that one. And as much as I really don't like having to do this, but I kind of have to because of the location of this one, you have to use an extension, or if you're lucky enough to have a frequency long socket. But come on, light. There we go. Alright, that's torqued. Drop my torque wrench back down really quick. Alright. So that's all good to go. And yeah, so we've got our new little hardware installed here, our little guides for our brake pads, and then these two dudes are already torqued to 85 foot-pounds, and then the one back there. So yeah, we just need to lube up the brake pads on the back side, and then slide the caliper on, and then torque those bolts, and we're done. So not too bad. But I will show you the method that I prefer for lubing up the brake pads. So it's a little messy, but it ensures that you're getting everything covered. So the most important part is make sure you do not put it on the friction material, because you won't stop. So I've personally grown fond of this CRC Ceramic. It's basically just silicone brake grease. And I pretty much just put a line of that and then spread it out. And then I put it on the ears right there too, where it rides in our new pin hardware there that we put in the anchor plate. And this just ensures that it's not going to rust or stick to the caliper in any way. So, and I do these one at a time, and then I'll take my gloves off. That way I know I'm not going to get this grease on the actual friction material or the rotor. And then I'll put them on. So something like that. Nice and lubed up. All nice and pretty like. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other one. And there we go. So, time to take the gloves off again. I don't even want to know how many pairs of gloves I've gone through today. But I feel like a doctor. But I am on my truck. Can you guys see? I hope you can. But anyway, now it's time to have fun. So, this is always... I don't like this part. No! That's why I don't like this. Fuck. Alright, what's the hold up here? Get me home. You can do it. There we go. No! Swear to God, if you move. So, yeah, now it's time for the next side. Ow! I just poked a hole in my finger. Damn, I freaking hate brake pads sometimes. No, come on. Alright. Now we're gonna lube up the old caliper guide pins here. And I'm just gonna let it hurt those things move. So just gonna give them a nice little layer here. And lube them up all nice like. And you want these nice and lubricated so that basically as the caliper is gonna slide on this, so that it makes it nice and easy for it to engage and disengage the brakes. And we've got our little boot. Slide that on. It probably would hurt to give this a little bit of coating either. And she's on there. Same thing for this one. Boots back on. And slide this one on. Please. The same thing happened on the other side too. I don't know what's going on. Well, let's just try to switch the sides then. Alright, what the hell? There we go. So see how they nice freely move like that? And I'm just going to try to get all this air out of here like that. So that way when you're engaging the caliper, these can move freely. Nice smooth braking. So, now comes the fun part. Oh crap, I forgot I need to compress the piston on this thing. Oh hey, I brought it. So, little cheapy, little $2 Harbor Freight brake compressor. I wonder, I need to move you guys up a little bit. I think you guys, yeah, you guys can see that. So, yeah, this thing just sits in here. And yeah, you just screw it and push the cylinder back. Or just use a C-clamp, whatever you want. I don't really care. Nice and easy. And I'm doing this because there's more meat on these brake pads than the old ones. Alright. We're done. Now, I'm just going to slide this over and try not to unseat these brake pads. Oh no. Come on. There we go. Be nice to me. Come on, just like a sandwich, please. Sure. Well, the brakes are still in there, so that's good. Yeah, so we find those damn bolts. There's one of them. Go. Now just need to torque it down. Let's see. Again, all that a DIY. Caliper. Replacement. Caliper. I honestly feel like this is one of the best investments that I've gotten so far, is getting all data. Because, I mean, this thing just has so much information. And honestly, I just like, if I can't sleep or something, I'll just go through here and just read up on how to fix stuff on the truck. Because there's a lot of information in here. I'm just waiting for it to load. Guide pin bolts, 27 foot-pounds. So again, I'm going to turn on my torque wrench this time. Alright, 27. And these are 14 millimeters, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Alright. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to need to use an extension because the brake hose right here is getting in the way of my torque wrench, and I really want to try to make sure that's torqued the right way. I hope this will work, but we shall see. Ooh, that's going to be a no. Yeah, there's no moving that. And I'm not about to disconnect my frickin' brake caliper over that. So, let me just... wonder. Let's see if I can find a short 14 millimeter. Not gonna work. Alright, I'm gonna have to use my calibrated forearm for this. I don't want to do it, but I don't have a choice. Just compare that. Oh, it's not even there yet. Alright, I'm calling that one good. Zero out my torque wrench again. And she is all done. Now we're just ready to put the tire back on and rock and roll. Alright. So yeah, that is the finished product. There's no catching like there was with the other ones, and yeah, so I'm happy with that. But oh damn, man, it's noisy outside. It's freaking coming down. They wasn't even showing any rain in the forecast today, man. It's freaking... There's the Lincoln getting a car wash. But, yep, so that's, sorry this is kind of a weird video. I wish I would have ordered the right parts the first time. But, you know, you live and you learn. And, hey, at my expense, you guys know not to buy these ones if you are going the Ford route for this truck. So, with that, I'm going to cut it off here. Throw the tires back on. Call it a day. Torque them down and clean up. And start working on this really weird editing that I'm doing here. So yeah, take it easy guys. Thanks for